Whew. It's good to be here now. It's just now 11, so I'm going to just sit quietly and give everybody time to show up. It's Mother's Day. We're going to honor the feminine today in our art. Um, Meant to kind of start with this of the divine feminine and the water and blue, or maybe not. Maybe it's something pink. Honoring the mama, honoring the mama in all of us, honoring our mothers, our earthly mothers, divine mothers, those ones that have gone on, those mothers who have influenced our lives, really strong women that I've got to watch mother their children. Hi, Donna. Good morning. Good. Can you hear me okay? Let me know. Totally new environment, y'all. I've moved myself states north and back home in Ohio now. It's my stepson's music room. So cool to hang out with some musical kind of vibe energy. We're going to use all the colors today. You need, as far as your supplies for today, I have just a small board I'm going to use. You could use a piece of paper, a white piece of paper if you'd rather. Um, I'm going to use markers. I just dumped them all out. So I got all the markers, all the colors. You might want to use colored pencils, whatever you have. I'm purposefully not painting this week. Something I can be more, tedious and use. Yeah. Anyway, so whichever things you want to use, and your board, and we'll start meditating here in a moment. It's really good to be here. Um, Congratulations for showing up for yourself. Might have been a rough week to get through. Um, some bumps along the way. I know mine was, and literally, I was traveling, so this week was full of miracles and breakdowns. Dragonfly, myself included, lost a few marbles and broke a belt, and forward we went, and homeward bound, and I had to see that new mama who's growing a baby. My daughter's expecting her first. So, hi, April. I'm so glad you're here. Um, we're going to meditate here in a minute. This week, we're going to be talking about chapter, is it 4? Yes. Chapter 4 of Polishing the Mirror by Ram Dass. Isn't that nice? That mirror. I believe in you. You can do the thing. This chapter is called Aging and Changing. Man, I don't know if y'all are reading along or not, but significant for me. This is the second time I'm reading this material, and yeah, like it's heavy sometimes, Um, yeah, this year, in the last year, yeah, 3 significant women in my life, mamas, all of them, have gone on. Um, Interesting to be talking about these things and having Boo Radley moments, guys. Um, it's real. It's real. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, aging and changing. I have a nice meditation we're going to do here in a minute. And since we're all here now, might as well start breathing, conscious breathing. Make that exhale real long. Inhale all the good stuff. Let go of anything hanging on to. April says her favorite part was that when he said, "At my age, I'd rather have a talking frog." Yeah, it is a cute little story told. And the glass frog. The glass frog is an imposter. That's something Vern said when I said the last load is in the washer. So the glass toad is an imposter. Don't trust him. Funny. All right, breathing in and out. I am honoring, honoring aging and changing. Hmm. Honoring the aging mama energy. Hmm. Honoring the unconditionally loving, aging, and growing mama energy. Yeah. It's the most nurturing force you can imagine. So that's what we're going to do with this meditation is we're going to breathe in and out together, long, deep breaths, relaxing ourselves into our body, into the now. You can keep your eyes open or you can close your eyes, whatever you're comfortable with, but really consciously breathing deeply with me now. Breathing in, slower as you go. Breathing in here. Imagining that mama energy, Mother Earth, Mother Goddess, Mother Crone, your mother, the mother that you are, the divine feminine, the collective mama. Imagining the mother you'd like to be, the mother your mother is, was, or the mother that you'd like to be. A mother that nurtures with unconditional love. Imagine her. Imagine her now in your heart space. Maybe hold there. And this is a place where your spirit self lives. The real you, that little kid. We're just surrounding that little kid with love and light from the Great Mother. It's pink. That light is pink. Breathing in this space, in this moment. You're safe. You're loved. You're free. You're free to make your mark. You're free to create from your heart. You're free to create from your heart, from yourself, to say whatever you want, to use your voice, to use your art, to use your passion, to be yourself. You're so loved. So, for today's art project, the only instruction I have for you is to honor that mama energy, that nurturing, loving energy in some way. Take your time, treat it as you're kissing the canvas with your crayon or your marker, as if you're making a Mother's Day card for that exquisite, loving, nurturing mother. You know, your artist is a child. The child loves his mama. So love the mama, and you love your mama, however you do. So deep breath in, come to the now. Be here now with me, with yourself. This is why we meditate, to enjoy this moment, this present moment, this creative process. So we have a blank thing, a new beginning. Boom. Silencing the sensor. So for this project, I'm just going to ask you to use whatever colors you know. Pink is really calling to me, believing mirrors for one another, and we're all pink on the inside, as my friend Casey from New Pink Order says. We're all the same. We're all one. So I started with pink, and I did this meditation and this art the other day just as an experiment, as something new to bring to you. And so I just started making shapes with pink. And I had the thought that as a child, perhaps you were scolded for drawing naughty things and would never think of drawing boobies or something. Allow your child self to draw whatever you want. It's not bad. It's not good or bad. Only thinking makes it so. And we are learning not to judge our art and silence the censor and allow ourselves to create from our heart and from our spirit in a healing way, and healing the wounds we have. So the mom that you are to your artist child self right now is not going to judge this art at all, is not going to scold you for making it. Um, she's going to love it so much, just the fact that you're sitting down here right now and doing that. It's your piece of art. There's no right or wrong. So honor the feminine. However you do, use the colors that are right for you. Just keep the hand moving and the ears keen on listening and the sensor silent, and forward we'll go into the next hour. All right? All right. So, Aging and Changing, Chapter 4, Polishing the Mirror by Ram Dass. Slow down and honor the process. See, I just read you things that I've highlighted. You can see. That's first. Slow down and honor the process. Slow down and honor the process of creating your art. Slow down and honor the process of being you. You don't have to. No hurry, no worry. We don't have to rush. Much of the suffering of aging comes from holding on to memories of who we used to be. I saw that I needed to be able to dance through this part of my life's curriculum without denial, without closing down to the suffering, but just watching the way my energies became less reliable, the way my patterns of life change. Instead of struggling with every change of circumstance, it's just, another new moment. Something else I need to learn. Different way I need to do stuff now. My knee hurts. I have a 54-year-old knee, and I have like a 15-year-old knee. And it's raining today where I am. So, yeah, so there's another thing. So living in our body changes, and this is what this talks a lot about. And just being here now. Cultural attitudes on aging affect how we age. In cultures with extended family structures, everybody has natural roles, and old people are honored and respected. They remain part of the family, and the old and young become wise fools together. It's all built into the system. But in our Western culture, we have an aging problem. Western technology moves so fast that we quickly become outdated. Dude, and I've watched this like technology and change and photographically in my photographic career as a photographer since 1986 and as a film photographer, and then the change to digital and feeling like an old dinosaur at like 40 years old. So let's at least recognize that we're living in a system that has gotten out of balance. And you and I are paying the price for having grown up in a materially oriented society that values people in terms of their products, their achievements, and their ability to consume instead of cultivating the quality of their being. The zeal for independence and individuality has alienated us not only from our deeper being, from family and community, but also from nature. Being out of touch with nature, as many of us are, we overlook the cycles of cold and warm. and the cycles of life, which include death, dying, rebirth. The cycles of nature give an intuitive, innate meaning to our own aging, and give you a feeling of the appropriateness of time and place. All great things to think about. The nature of aging has to do with change. So we're always dealing with change. Now, I find it interesting that we as humans, the only thing for sure is that things are going to change. It's fluid, we're moving, and giving up resistance to change can be a stimulating challenge, and how we struggle with it, how I myself struggle with change. And the nature of aging has to do with change. Old age trains you for change. Change in your body, change in memory, change in your relationships, change in energy, change in your family and social role, all leading where? To death, which is the big change in our lives. So wisdom becomes clearer. Your ego calms down. This is a beautiful thing to witness, I'm saying, as a person who hangs out with people older than me a lot. It's interesting to watch the process of a person's life, and if you can hang in there with it through this aging thing, you know, we learn from the ones who have gone before and the ones who are here, who have been here longer than us, you know. Wisdom is one thing in life that does not diminish with age. Wisdom is learning how to live in harmony with the world as it is in any given moment. One aspect of that wisdom is the deep understanding that we are all in the same boat here. Out of that comes compassion. Compassion for yourself, compassion for others, compassion for the world. So, can you look for the wisdom? I'll say that again. Can you allow the changes and delight in them, and look for the wisdom inherent in each change rather than resisting them? Non-resistance. Non-resistance, unbearable compassion, radical acceptance. These are words I may have tattooed on my body one day. Keep your hand moving, keep breathing. No judging, just coloring, having fun on your canvas there, and listening and breathing. That's what we're doing here now. It's good to be here. Just going to take a moment here to color on mine. Honoring the mama energy. It's something to think about, how we feel about that. So, when who we think we are begins to change, the fascination turns into fear. Aging brings personal changes that are both physical and psychological. It's painful and confusing when the body doesn't do what it used to do and starts to do a lot of things it didn't used to do. You don't not recognizing. And this idea of mirrors, and you look in the mirror. One day we were out in the woods somewhere, and Vern started hollering, "I've been robbed! I've been robbed!" I'm like, there's nobody been here. What are you talking about? He said, they've stolen my youth. I said, oh, honey, did you look in the mirror there? Yeah. So it all changes, you know, and it's like not what it used to be ever. It's fluid and it's moving. So part of how we deal with change depends on our perception. Perceptually, each of us is two beings, the ego and the soul, that function on different planes of consciousness. That's interesting. And that's the next thing. That was me saying that's interesting, but the next sentence says, if we live predominantly in our soul, then the changes in the body are just interesting, like changes in the weather. Like, So then he talks about how perception can be viewed as like channels, where on channel 1, when you look at another human being, you see only the physical. You see old, young, whatever, glasses, not glasses. You see physical bodies. That's channel 1. If you flip to channel 2, well, then you're in this psychosocial realm. You see power, happiness, sadness, neurosis. This is the therapy channel, the social role channel. It's pretty judgy there. 98% of the people you meet are busy with these two channels all the time. But suppose you turn to yet another channel. Here you see the same characters in different suits. Here you see archetypes. You're dealing with what are called roles, mythical roles and identities, roles we're playing out. If you flip another channel, perhaps you go behind all those individual differences and all you see is another being just like you. All the packaging is different, but inside the wrapping, each one is another being just like you. That's when you say, are you in there? Are you guys out there? I'm in here. I live in this here. How'd you get that suit? How'd I get this suit? All the personality stuff, all of its packaging, all of the mythical stuff, all the ideas, all the physical form, that's just all packaging. Inside you is a entity. Inside you is that little being as big as your thumb that lives in your heart space that we made art about a couple weeks ago. Pure awareness. On this channel, it's just pure awareness looking at itself. And there's only one of it. There's only one of this. I and I. Right? You try to live your life in a way that is harmonious with what you know on these and other planes of consciousness. That harmony is part of the wisdom that comes with age. Learning how to grow old is the masterwork of wisdom and one of the most difficult chapters in the great art of living. And man, I like those words. The great art of living. This is the great art of living my best life in this suit. Yeah. There's part of you that is not in time. And finding that place and resting in it is a key part of this mystical journey. What you begin to see is that the spiritual journey is one of going deeper and deeper into your being, going behind the part of you that changes to seek the part of you that doesn't, part of you that knows. Take a few deep breaths here. We got a little ways to go yet. Aging gracefully. As you age, some of those thoughts and feelings in your life will be traumatic because they counter the core model of who you think you are. As long as you identify with your thoughts and feelings, as long as you think those thoughts and feelings are you, they will be a source of suffering. We don't want to suffer. We want to find what feels good. There's a spiritual model that will allow us to age gracefully instead of the old psychological model that is fearful and frightened. To be old can be glorious if one has not unlearned what it means to begin. I said that to Vern yesterday. Come on now. Regain the enthusiasm you had as a beginner about something. Use the new uncertainty and negative feelings about aging as a wake-up call. That's good. I'm going to say that again. Use the new uncertainty and negative feelings about aging as a wake-up call. Have compassion for yourself and allow yourself to open to the changes, and all the rest will just follow. Too, as far as aging, there's another option. It doesn't sound like as much fun. Aging includes living. I want to continue doing that. Just a line to say I'm living. I'm not among the dead, though I'm getting more forgetful and more mixed up in the head. Sometimes I can't remember when I stand at the foot of the stair if I must go up for something or if I must come down from there. And before the fridge so often my poor mind is full of doubt. Have I just put food away or have I come in to take some out? And there are times when it is dark out with my nightcap on my head. I don't know if I'm retiring or if I'm just getting out of bed. So if it's my turn to write you, there is no need for getting sore. I may think that I've written and don't want to be a bore. Remember, I do love you. I wish you were here. It's nearly mail time, so I'll say goodbye, dear. And there I stood beside the mailbox with my face so very red. Instead of mailing you my letter, I have opened it instead. I love my new bifocals. My dentures fit me fine. My hearing aid is perfect. But Lord, I miss my mind. That's adorable. Don't lose our sense of humor. Really. So, so now it talks about it's easier to extricate oneself from the changes of aging when the changes don't involve one's own personality. While you may be able to see the body as object and changing, it's very hard to see the personality as object because that's what we identified with. That's who we think we are, even though it keeps changing. Yeah. So now you're getting more and more into the heart of the matter. Can you find a place to stand in relation to change where you're not frightened by it? Can you live in the presence of change, even enjoy the changes, work with the changes, become an elder, do all the things that involve changing, and at the same moment, cultivate equanimity, clarity, loving awareness, compassion, and joy? Balancing those qualities is really what the deep spiritual work is about. So, yeah, just flowing with the changes and being here now with your fine self. The next part we're going to talk about is free to be me. Free to be me. We're honoring the mama here. Maybe we're honoring the mama crone. Maybe we give our feminine being aging qualities. Let those wrinkles show up in those gray hairs. Bring on the old crone, because the old crone has gained wisdom. It's the wise one. One of the gifts of old age is no longer caring so much about what others think of us. Aging allows us to be more eccentric. So does being an artist. People accept that. She's a little eccentric. Dress is kind of funny. She's an artist, Oh, now she's an elderly artist. She's so quirky. She wears that top hat. Yeah. We're free to be ourselves, to follow our hunches, to experiment, to do nothing at all. I had forgotten to scroll down on the comments. I hope you all are still with me now and breathing and coloring and making a beautiful art there. No judging. So we're free to be ourselves, to follow our hunches, to experiment, to do nothing at all. And age is just a number. We're free. We're this free all the time, at any age, to be ourselves, to follow our hunches, to experiment, or to do nothing at all. Yeah. I'm looking for an authentic way of being. Authentically you. Authentically you. What time we got? Oh, good. There's another long thing here I guess I had highlighted to read. This is Nadine Strain was 85 years old when she wrote this poem. If I had life to live over. I'd like to make more mistakes next time. I'd relax. I'd limber up. I would be sillier than I have been this trip. I would take more chances. I would climb more mountains and swim more rivers. I would eat more ice cream and less beans. I would perhaps have more actual troubles, but I'd have fewer imaginary ones. You see, I'm one of those people who live sensibly and sanely hour after hour, day by day. Oh, I've had my moments, and if I had it to do over again, I'd have more of them, in fact. I try to have nothing else, just moments, one after another, instead of living so many years ahead of each day. I've been one of those persons who never gets anywhere without a thermometer, a hot water bottle, a raincoat, and a parachute. If I had to do it again, I would travel lighter than I have. If I had my life to live over, I would start barefoot earlier in the spring and stay that way later in the fall. I would go to more dances. I would ride more merry-go-rounds. I would pick more daisies. That's the end of the poem. Isn't that nice? So don't get caught in your old roles. If you cultivate the ways you exist behind personality, the pure awareness of the witness, the I am loving awareness place in your heart, you will begin to live more in your soul. And if you see the beloved when you look at another being, then everyone you see is a soul as well as a mirror. And then relationships become so beautiful. Each person's struggle, each person's journey is exquisite. Let yourself stop for a moment and appreciate that beauty. It's so precious. Each person's journey is unique and exquisite. It's so precious. It's their one beautiful life. Most people have no idea that they're beautiful. They think if only I had this or that, then my life would be beautiful. But who they are, their pain, their beauty, their experiences, all of it, that keeps them here, that got them here to this point, it's all so beautiful. I'm reading this. Like, this is Ram Dass's words. The beloved keeps appearing to you in one guise or another. You can cultivate this view and practice your ability to see. Seeing the subtlety inside another person also depends on your ability to acknowledge it in yourself. It takes one to know one. I love that. O-N-E. It takes one to know one. And we're all one here doing this thing. Breathing in and out, I am. Satnam. What happened? How long ago? It started over from the beginning. Are you with me now, everybody? Let me know, someone. April says something happened. Something happened. It started over from the beginnings. I'm not sure I understand, but let me know if you can still hear me. We're going to talk about letting go again, conscious aging, having to do with letting go. And on that note, I'm going to go back to the piece of art that I did in the planning stages for today, which is this one. And so it's pink on the cardboard. Hi, Mercedes. Thank you. Does that mean you're with me now? I'm going to age her by like just, put some wrinkles and stuff around her eyes because we're talking about letting go again. Conscious aging has to do with letting go, which allows you to come into the present moment. Hold on tightly, but let go. Okay, good. Y'all can hear me. Remember, for meditation, mudras help bring us to the present. I have a friend over my shoulder suddenly. That's jazzy. Here with me now. Okay, where you are now with all your neurosis and problems is just the right place. This is it. It's perfect. Live life fully and richly as a partner with the universe and accept what comes with openness and love. Be with what is. There is horror and beauty in everything. Bittersweet. That's become how I see it. Life is bittersweet. Acceptance is the key. Just accepting what is. That happened. What do I make of it? Don't have to go crazy. Don't have to throw a fit. I can stay calm. Stay in my peace. Whatever happens as a silent observer, loving awareness. Reading from Ram Dass again. Senility is a convenient peg on which to hang nonconformity. Senility is a convenient peg on which to hang nonconformity. A new set of facilities seems to be coming into operation. I seem to be waking to a larger world of wonderment. He's okay. To catch little glimpses of the immensity and diversity of creation. More than at any other time of my life, I seem to be aware of the beauties of our spinning planet and the sky above. Old age is sharpening my awareness. Actually, that was written by someone, Francis, a resident in a nursing home, was saying those words. Old age is sharpening my awareness. Just look at what happens when you get old. You lose your hearing, you lose your sight, you can't move around so well, you slow down. What an ideal time to meditate. If any message is clear, that's it. Yet we treat aging as an error or a failing. That distortion comes from defining ourselves in terms of doing instead of being. And again, at any age, I don't care how old you are, you're aging. It's an opportunity to slow down with your fine self. Take your time. It's the most interesting thing you'll ever witness is your own journey. Pay attention. Be aware. Be here now. Be here now with your fine self. Behind all the doing, all the roles, you just are. Pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure energy. When you reside fully in the present moment, you're outside time, space, age, all those concepts and things. Time isn't real. Age is just a number. Only now is real. Only now is happening. But it's all happening at the same time. So, our lives awaken through ordinary magic. It's in everyday things that the miraculous happens. If we practice being here now, we develop the sensitivity to perceive and appreciate the daily miracles in our lives. Our lives awaken through ordinary magic. It is in everyday things that the miraculous happens. Man, like we talk about Boo Radley moments and synchronistic moments, and in the artist way, we learn to be here now and present and noticing those things that happen, and in traveling and watching the emotions move through me and feelings, and then magical experiences that happen that could only happen where I in that time in that place at that specific moment with my feet in that stream or standing by that stump and honoring that tree and crying a little because somebody cut it down, and pausing in that spot with my hands together and honoring one of the significant mothers in my life, and then thinking about all of us mothers, and in that moment in the forest the other day, and the yellow being Jody. And I know I'm rambling now, and this is my personal experience, but it was magical. And there I stood and breathing and just being totally in that moment and smelling the jasmine in the air, and I'm there in the forest, and then the most beautiful human appeared. And I and Namaste and Satnam, and we took a walk. And that's all I want to say about that. It was magical. It was magical. So I'm going to read to you a little more as we 20 minutes left. So, for I lived in an old school bus and spent a lot of my time in campgrounds with elderly neighbors. I'm reading, but I could say that sentence myself. Early in their lives, these people had focused on planning for the future. Now that the future was here, their consciousness was occupied with the past. I heard heavy doses of sentimental reverie. And as I was thinking about this, I wondered, whatever happened to the present moment? What happened to just making tea? What happened to this consciousness of just being together in this beautiful place under the stars? Their minds were holding on to an identity that they were constantly reinforcing by reliving the past. Any memory of a high moment you've held on to keeps you from this present moment. And right here is the living spirit. If not here, then nowhere. Now isn't preparation for later. Here and now is it. Here and now is it. There is a spaciousness and acceptance of what is in the moment that says, yep, and so, and to everything, whether it's ugly, beautiful, boring, confused, dead, angry, the dark night of the soul, or the brilliant light of the spirit. This is just the way it is. And in just the way it is enough. The moment is enough. To come more and more fully into the moment is to fully appreciate the infusion of the spirit, of yourself, of what it's been like to be you. Take a deep breath and look away from your art a minute. Look around the room. Maybe move your leg. Maybe your foot went to sleep. I know mine did. I stayed in that same position for a while. Breathe and wiggle around. Look around. Maybe just pull your art a little further away and add some more colors, and just be here now. And there's nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to do. You just have to be and breathe. This moment's enough. Coming fully into the moment is like coming through a doorway into another dimension of consciousness, into being here now. That's one meditation I use. I tell myself anytime I go through a doorway, I'm entering a higher level of consciousness. Or I go under an archway of trees, or through a blessed green tunnel, if I get to drive through a green tunnel. Yeah, I hope we are still rolling. It looks like it. Read you a little more here. So this is from Walden. Henry David Thoreau wrote, Sometimes I sat in my sunny doorway from sunrise till noon, wrapped in a reverie, amidst the pines and hickories and sumacs, in the undisturbed solitude and stillness, while the birds sing around or flitted noiseless through the house, until, by the sun falling in at my west window, or the noise of some traveler's wagon on the distant highway, I was reminded of the lapse of time. I grew in those seasons like corn in the night, and they were far better than any work of the hands would have been. They were not time subtracted from my life, but so much over and above my usual allowance. I realized what the Orientals mean by contemplation and the forsaking of works. In a letter he also wrote, to some extent, and at rare intervals, even I am a yogi. So there you have it. Consciously being you, allowing, accepting, radical acceptance, changing our language, conscious breath, conscious breath. It all starts with the breath. It all starts there. So I did this group a little bit backwards. We didn't do our check-in. That ends chapter 4 of Polishing in the Mirror. And thanks for sharing that with me. Love to know your thoughts about your process. Whatever you feel free to share. Our group is a private group. Chapter 5 is going to be about conscious living and conscious dying. They're the same thing. So Creative Companions, we use some basic tools to honor our artist selves. And one thing we do every week when we meet is check in with each other and see how we're doing. So how y'all doing? How was your week? Did you use your tools? First tool we talk about is morning pages. And that's 3 pages of brain drain. First thing in the morning is recommended, and we're not trying to do anything right or wrong. Everybody's journal is your private own. So I keep a journal like this, and I've been doing this since my son was born, 27 years, 3 pages every morning. That's a lot of writing. And it's the conversation we're having with ourselves. And it's a great way to make the changes that you want to make and learn to be gentle with yourself and the way you talk to yourself. So I highly recommend morning pages. And this is the morning pages, and the next thing I'm going to talk about, the artist date, come from Julia Cameron's work, The Artist Way. If you're new to us, that's our guide, The Artist Way. So the other thing is an artist date, and that's doing something that is fun that maybe you haven't done for a long time. Once a week for an hour, can you take an hour simply for you and experience joy? Do something that you experience joy. For me, my artist date this week was that walk in the creek and nature art. I did a little shrine on that stump to honor that tree, and I put flower petals and things. I have a picture I could share because I also took a photograph of it. Um, so an artist date is just honoring you and honoring, maybe the moms here this week. Think about honoring the mom in yourself and taking that mom out on a date, and being grateful. Uh, Gratitude's a fun space to be in as well. I've added walks to my self care, and those walks have really been useful. And it's, since I was traveling this past week, and I got to walk in many different states, in many different environments, in cities and forests, and consciously walking, consciously breathing while we're walking. And as Sally says, walk as if your feet are kissing the earth. Just like when you're playing your instrument or making a piece of art, let's say playing your instrument, stroke your guitar like you're loving it. Your guitar likes that. You play better. Somebody said, like Amara, I think, said one time, and yeah, I could be so lucky as your guitar, the way you so lovingly are stroking it there. Yeah, same with when you're painting or coloring. You know, you're doing this thing because you love to do this thing. So take your time and stay in that wonderful space as long as you can. You know, um, I'd love to see what you created today in our group. If you would be willing to share it in the comments, that would be great. And love yourself more and more. Self-care is sacred. The present moment is sacred. Stay with you now. Do your thing. Shine your light. Play your instrument. Love to see what you're making. I'm just adding and bringing that heart space. It's all about the heartbeat. Got to see my grandchild's heartbeat for the first time this week. Yeah, it's been exciting, beautiful, wonderful, magical moments. That's another thing that your journal is great for, is recording those magical moments, you know. Um, those beautiful, your dreams and goals and beautiful things that occur. Oh, we did make good stuff jars, and I hope y'all are still using those. On week 1 of the Artist Way, we did make these good stuff jars, and if you didn't get to do that, you can always go back through the videos on here or on YouTube. Art by Kim Keffer on YouTube. All the Artist Way videos there are there, as well as the Polishing the Mirror ones come up as we go. So on week 1 of Polishing the Mirror, we made these good stuff jars. And daily, we making it a habit to look out for the good in our lives and in our days. Daily, we can, you know, add a slip of paper. I'll just pull one out right now and see what I get. 4/26. The good thing that happened that day was I got to spend the night in the woods. That was good. Let's see. Let's pick another one. So yeah, so good stuff jars, you know, at the end of the day before you go to bed. Oh, I photographed a bird with a beautiful reflection. I even drew a little sketch of it on there so I would remember. You know, and so when we're like talking about this concept of changing and aging, life happens fast, and then you have kids and then grandkids, and it's all happening and swirling by, and we do forget, and it all gets jumbled up. And so little things like this are reminders of who we were, you know, who we've been, maybe point us in a direction where we're going, but mostly just teach us to stay here now with ourselves and know that we're safe in the present moment. The present moment is all we ever have to survive. And if you're here with me now, you have survived every present moment you've ever had, and you always will. And you always have everything you need to survive the present moment. And your needs are always met. And the best is yet to come. Just changing our language. You know, this is something I think about a lot. What am I saying to myself? What am I saying to others? Been asking for patience, more kindness. Being gentle with ourselves is something we're learning, and accepting that we're all just changing and growing and at different levels of our growth here. Yeah, arting is fun. Going out to look at someone's art, go to some art shows, and look at, be inspired. Inspiration. Yes, I desire to inspire. Very inspired by an art show I saw this week. That was an artist date for me. Oh, hey, love. I'm glad you're here with me now. Be here, be in the moment, enjoy your day, enjoy your mother, enjoy the mother in you, your grandmothers, all of them. Feminine energy. It took feminine energy to get us here, each and every one of us. That is true indeed. And masculine. Balance. Balance can be difficult to find, but always available. And the same with the good. It's a matter of perspective. Boop-a-boo. I love you. It's 5 till. Let's take 3 good deep breaths together. Today's going to be the most spectacular day. Be aware of the good stuff. Look for the magic. Share it with me. I believe in you. You can do the thing. Love yourself more and more and more and more this week. Be gentle. Take your time. Thanks for being here.